everybody to my very first makeup tutorial. Today, as you see by the title, I will be doing a full beat full of Fenty Beauty products. I started doing my makeup in 2021. Like I was saying, I started doing my makeup in 2021. I didn't want to pay a makeup artist to do my makeup, and I was like, the money I'm spending to get somebody to do my makeup, I could just buy the products myself for that price and learn how to do it myself. I went to Ulta, and Fenty Beauty was the product that I was given for a shade match, and ever since then we've been inseparable. Fenty Beauty was also the first brand I purchased makeup from, and I kept purchasing makeup on Fenty Beauty. So here we are in a long-lasting relationship. So let's get started. First step, I'm using my Fenty Beauty Plush Pudding in Vanilla. And this is like a lip mask. And I'm using this mainly because y'all wasn't about to catch me lacking with dry lips on this video. Anyway, for the actual very first step, I use my Pro Filter Instant Retouch Primer. And basically, this has a mattifying formula in it. So it's good for my skin, although it is good for all skin types. I really reach for this because I have oily skin and I don't like a glowy look. I go for the mattifying look, and you will see towards the end. Now, for the very next step, I use shade 420 in the Pro Filter Longwear Soft Matte Foundation with the 110 foundation brush by Fenty. And you want to pat in the product. You don't want to swipe it. You want to pat it in. As you can see, I'm enjoying myself while I'm doing that. The more I pat it in, the more you can see it is just melting into my skin. And as you can see, I am avoiding my eye area because I want to only put concealer right there. And put the foundation on your forehead, y'all. Put the makeup on your forehead. I don't know where or who started that trend of y'all not putting makeup on your forehead, but we can tell. But again, avoid the eye area and you see it's a smooth base. Concealer is the next step, and I'm using shade 420 as well for my Wear Even concealer by Fenty Beauty. And this formula is one of my favorite concealers because of how creamy and blendable it is. Like, do y'all see how it's gliding on my face? This is a good formula. Don't apply it too close to your eyes or it will settle in your creases. Next, I'm carving out my eyebrows with the same concealer and just tracing along my eyebrow line. I don't need to fill them in too much. Reason being, I have thick eyebrows. In the meantime, you're letting the concealer sit on your face right now while you're blending and carving out your eyebrows. And by the time you're done with your eyebrows, your concealer has had time to set and dry down a little bit, which you want it to do. Letting your concealer sit for a little bit just enhances the coverage, and especially it stops it and prevents it from shearing out. Blend the concealer where you put it, and as you can see, you always want to start and move inward. You don't want to drag it out. You blend inwards, and you always start with the edges. I can't stress it enough. Blend those edges out first and work your way inward. Now, I left some in the corner to let that dry down more so my inner eye could be sharper. And again, I'm starting from the outside, then the edges, boom, and you work your way in to the top. And no matter how long it takes, blend that concealer out and make sure you buff the edges out. I'm taking my leftover concealer and tapping it on my eyelids, and now I'm tapping in that leftover concealer and smoothing out my under eye. Do the same thing for the other eye. You blend out because you don't want nothing to settle into the creases, especially if you're putting powder on after this. Now, one of my favorite parts, I'm using Crushing on Cupid, the blush by Fenty Beauty. I'm hitting pan clearly. This is a cream blush formula, by the way. You want to put creams before powders. And I'm applying blush at the apple and top of my cheekbones because I want to go for a more lifted look. And you can't be scared of blush, so I'm just buffing it out. The more you buff it out, the better it comes out. Always start with a little bit because you can always add more. Now, don't hurt me, but I forgot to record this part. I thought I was recording, but this is my contour placement. And these are the places where I either want to snatch or create shadows. When blending out your contour on your neck, you can swipe, but just make sure you either keep it in place or blend downward. And I'm creating a triangle for a more snatched look on my neck. Then I move to my forehead, create more shadows because my forehead is a little big, y'all. But you want to blend it into the hairline. And the key to blending out contour is you blend it as if it is one big shadow. So I'm connecting the eye to the forehead part to the cheek. So look at this side, and look how snatched this side looks. So this is what you want to do. Now you do the other side the same way. I do it in the shape of a 3, and then I go to the bridge of my nose and blend it up to my eyebrow to create more of that seamless shadow that's honestly already there. Then I take it down to my nose bridge, which is the last part of my contour that I'm blending out. Now just look at the results. Now I wanted to go in and buff out my powder blush, which is why I'm using my Wattabrat by Fenty, and it's such a shimmery pink. Just watch how this come on. Look at this. I go back and forth in the same motions on the apple of my cheek and the highest point of my cheek, again because I want that lifted look. And you buff it out till you look like you were born with these colored cheeks, like the sun was just on you all day. Now she's flushed. Now if you have oily skin like me, this is one of the most important parts. I'm going with my Hazelnut Pro Filter Loose Setting Powder. Now today we're not doing a bright under eye. As you can see, this gold matches my undertones. Now when you tap the puff in there, no matter what it looks like, you still want to press it on your palm or the back of your hand, because how it comes out on the puff is how it's going to come out on your skin. And look how smooth it came out. I'm not baking for this look either. I'm pressing it in my skin, mainly my T-zone. I bring it up to the forehead because that gets shiny. Look at this side compared to this airbrush side. Now I'm putting some more on there to go and press it on my palm again, to put it on the other side, and I'm looking up because I don't want to set my creases. When I feel like there's enough powder on the puff, I start pressing it in, and I press till it's buffed out. You don't want no harsh lines or no cakiness. And now I'm taking the residue and I'm patting it on the other places where I get oil at, which is my chin and my upper lip, especially in the summertime, child. Now that I'm done setting my concealer, we're going to add some warmth back to the face, child, using the 125 Fenty face brush. I'm going over where I put that contour at, and you don't even have to know makeup to know or see that the warmth is coming back to my face already on top of having those shadows. So now I'm just creating more depth. Now we're not looking flat no more. And I'm using my Eyeshadow 240 brush by Fenty to just go in to the smaller crevices, like my nose bridge and my eyebrows. And on the tip of the nose, I'm almost doing sweeping motions, going in real light-handed. Next, we're doing eyeshadow. Now, trust me, I know eyeshadow can be intimidating. That's why we're going in with Nookie Rookie. And if you got something to say about my palette, buy me a new one. Anyways, I'm packing it on my eyelid and I'm stamping it in. I'm not swiping it because you're going to get the most color payoff with your eyeshadow by tapping it in, as you can see. Also, you can easily build up the color like this versus adding a lot and now you don't know what to do. Now, a color like this is going to add a soft contrast to my eyes. And I'm going back in with my bronzer in my crease, literally, to add a seamless blend. And bronzer is just a good transition shade for any eyeshadow. Now it's also giving natural definition. I'm keeping my eyes still, as you can see, so I can feel where my crease is. And I'm gliding the brush to smoke it out. Next, one of my favorite parts is highlighter. I'm using the Kilowatt highlighter in Mean Money and Hustler Baby, and I'm dabbing my brush in both of them. Of course, using the Precision brush number 220 by Fenty Beauty. Tap off the excess because it's going in the corner of my eye. Try this with your next makeup look because it just adds that look, you know, like, you see what I mean? This enhances the eyes, but also now I look awake, more refreshed, and the more I want it to be brighter, the more I'm gonna keep adding. Now stay down because we almost done. Now I'm using my 420 Pro Filter Powder Foundation by Fenty. Y'all see how it comes with the sponge? I'm using it to fuse my bronzer and my concealer, but it was too heavy, so I'm using my 170 Setting Brush by Fenty, and I'm going in and I'm doing the same thing, but everywhere that I put foundation at. Not where I apply concealer, just fusing the colors out. Now this is when I know I'm at the end. I'm using my Fenty Hella Thick Mascara. This is hands down the best volumizer mascara I've ever used. I'm going in at the corner, the bottom of my eyes, then I'm curling my lashes. And I use this little tool only when I have makeup on because I don't want to get mascara on my eyelid. I use it just for the corners, and I do my mascara off camera, how y'all do your eyebrows. This next step is always optional, but I'm using my Diamond Bomb and Rave.
and it's like a rose gold color using the 160 face and body brush. I think it's like a kabuki brush. I really don't know, but I added some more blush first, and now I'm rubbing it in and I'm just swiping it across my cheeks. Do y'all see that? It's giving my cheeks that wet, shiny look. It's buildable, so I keep adding more. Rihanna never played. Don't play with us. By now, I think I know what time it is. Oh, my favorite, my real favorite part, the lip combo. Browned Out by Fenty is my favorite lip liner by them. I'm just going over my Cupid's bow, naturally lining my lips. Moving on, this is my favorite gloss bomb stick in Blaz'd Donut. She is almost gone. She is such a cute baby pink. I pack her smack in the middle. It has the gloss feel, but in a lipstick form. I don't know how to explain it, but this is how I block my lips. And because it's a lipstick, I wait till I see no harsh lines. I'll even take something to block the middle because I hate the way that looks. Now for the topper, I use Champ Stamp Fantasy. As you can see, she's almost gone as well. I don't want to mess up the combo, so I delicately apply it around my whole lip. This is the cutest combo. And we're done. Here's the whole look. If you like this makeup look, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe for more, and stay tuned because I'm doing more makeup looks.